All right, guys. Next time somebody tells you the RX1R III doesn't have IBIS or doesn't have a tilty screen on the back, show them this right here. Show them the Leica M11P, the Leica M11, pretty much any Leica M body. They're 10K plus before tax, no IBIS, no tilty screen, and they don't even autofocus. So don't listen to the noise. If you ask me, this is a baby Leica. Look at the shape of it. Look at the shape of it. Look at the, I mean, there, of course, in a lot of ways, the Leicas do all these different things, and they have true range finders and all that kind of stuff. I mean, actually, not the Q, but this to me is a baby Leica, and it's something that I can carry every day. So, welcome to another episode of The Haters Were Wrong. This is episode 4. And so I took this out today for a dedicated session of street photography. I went to the Orange Circle in the city of Orange, in the county of Orange, in Southern California. And I got my feet wet with dedicated street photography for the first time with this camera. If you guys have been following along, you know that I've been doing I've been taking photos with this when I'm doing my live streaming, where I'm talking to people and interviewing people, and I just take pictures of them while I'm doing that. And we've reviewed a lot of those pictures together. We're going to review today. We're going to go through and review the street photography that I did. And today I did something that I don't ever do, manual focus. So there's a gentleman by the name of Eduardo Ortiz. I've been watching his YouTube videos, and I'm just putting my phone on silent because we're on live right now, and I'm unscripted, as you guys know. I'm unscripted on these things. I'm not staring at a teleprompter or something like that. I don't have any kind of notes, but anyway, I've been following Eduardo Ortiz. He's a phenomenal street photographer that I have a lot to learn from. And he mentioned in one of his videos that he is shooting manual focus. So he uses the Fuji X Pro 2, which, again, because of him, it's something that I've just learned about and that I love now. It's a great camera. And so he shoots at with manual focus at a very small aperture, anywhere from f11 to f16, and he has a high shutter speed, somewhere around 500th of a second. And he has his ISO somewhere around 1,000, sometimes lower. I just know as much as I can see, and as much as he tells me on the YouTube videos, because I've been following along. So I tried that today, and I gotta say, guys, it gave me a lot of freedom that I didn't usually feel, because I don't, with those settings, I wasn't thinking about, is my shot in focus? Is the subject move? Is my hand moving? Am I going to have a blurry picture? So it was really cool, and it made taking pictures a lot more fun. It was exciting, and of course, the first couple times I did it, I would stop, and review the photos, and I would look into the viewfinder and just make sure, check, is it in focus? And they were in focus. So I have the info in my description, but again, it's I was shooting at, you're gonna see in this picture right here. Let me click on the info on this picture. This is just me getting warmed up. So this is not an actual, one of the photos I took. I was just getting warmed up, but I'll look at this. So you could see my settings. If you can't see it, this is at f16, 3/20th of a second, 800 ISO. So I was typically f16, 500th of a second, 800 or 1000 ISO, and I was just shooting and enjoying it. And again, guys, I'm not Mr. Pro guy. Nobody's ordering my prints. I'm doing this for myself. I'm enjoying the process, and I'm not losing my mind over the resulting photos that come out of this. I'm enjoying it. If they're good enough for me, when I look back at them and say, oh, those are some cool pictures I took, that's really all I'm going for. And I'm enjoying walking and observing and taking photos. And, I'm a very I like mechanical things. And, I very much enjoy using things like this camera. If you guys have been following along, you know that I enjoy mechanical things like, oh, I'm not wearing my watch. Like my watches. Here's a different one if you guys haven't seen this one. This is a Piaget. This is a malachite dial. So this dial is an actual real stone dial. That's a real rock. It's a green malachite. Those are natural patterns. So it's a mechanical watch. You have to wind it, So if you don't use it for a couple of days, it stops. Guess what? I enjoy winding it. So I'm that kind of guy. I like using my stuff. I like using mechanical things. And because of that, I would probably love a Leica, to be honest with you guys. I'm not hating on any kind of camera. I'm not afraid to hate on something. I'll let you know if I don't like something or if I think something's a joke. I'll let you know. I probably would love a Leica and use it a lot, but I don't think I would use it as much or take it as many places or on as many errands even as I take this. I take this everywhere with me because of the size. And that's kind of the point with this camera that I think a lot of people miss. And when I say the haters were wrong, they're saying, what's Sony thinking? They're charging $5,100 for a camera that doesn't even have IBIS. Again, guys, let me show you this picture or this screen. Right now, this is a current B&H website. I just searched for Leica I think M11P. And they're $10,000, no IBIS, no autofocus, no tilting screen. The two things people complain the most about: how could Sony charge $5,100 for a camera that doesn't have in-body image stabilization or a tilting screen, or whatever else it is that they're saying? But those two things, for sure, those two things. You gotta remind these guys. Leica sells cameras without those for $10K, $12K plus tax, and then you got to buy a lens on top of that. A lot of guys that own M series cameras, M series Leicas, are in their cameras about 15 to 20K with the lens, or if they have multiple lenses, they're pushing 30K, 40K. You don't know. But first things first is there's a camera for everyone. There's a thing for everybody. And I said this before. You can buy a Casio. You can buy a Seiko. They will never skip a beat. You can spend a lot more and get a Rolex that you have to wind. That will skip a beat. That will be plus or minus milliseconds or seconds per day. And then there's Patek Philippe that will, uh, which are all mechanical, and they can be 80K, 200K. When I was selling cars when I was a kid, I had a customer walk in with a Patek Philippe that was $400,000. Back in those days, I mean, yeah, I'm talking 20 years ago. But so, this is a camera that is, I think, a very special camera, and I think it's worth every penny of $5,100. For my case, it was like $6K with the accessories that I got with it. You're looking at a couple of them now. This was only $40, but there's a couple things I got with it. A couple things I don't even use, so you can save yourself for and not get it. But it's your style of photo. So anyway, we're gonna go review some of these photos. I think this is a phenomenal camera. It's again a baby Leica in my opinion. I shot all manual today, so I was using not the exposure compensation, but I was using. I have this dial right here, the smaller dial. You can hear the clicks. I'll do that for you. I was using that smaller dial for my shutter speed, and I was using this dial for ISO. And I was using, obviously, this dial here for, I was using that for the aperture. I was floating around 16 the most, majority of the day. And then I was in like F11 and in between, just getting my exposure to the place I wanted it. In some shots, I'm looking at these pictures the first time with you. So actually, let's pull them up. So these are the pictures. And in some of these pictures, I'm underexposed. I just quickly glanced at them, but I haven't looked at them. So we're looking at these for the first time. I have not hit a single adjustment. I have not hit auto on any of them. So we're going to look at them for the first time. So you can see here, I actually like how I'm exposed here, and listening to Eduardo Ortiz and watching some people do street photography and looking at the way people are playing with shadows and letting shadows be shadows, getting that contrast between bright sun and a dark shadow, letting the shadow be shadow and not coming in. Like, for example, here's a picture. This is not one perfect example, but I'll find one. Here's an example of a picture that has a shadow. And if you come in here and hit auto, it's going to do what, guys? We know it's going to raise the shadows and lower the highlights. So let me hit auto. And you see that back already lit up. My shadows are up. Look at the shadows at plus 41. So let me bring that back down. So you see that shadow. So I'm loving, learning from these guys, and let the shadows be shadows. Let there be contrast. Alan Schaller talks about the same thing. Let the shadows be shadows. Have some contrast. Let your subject pop a little bit. Get that. I don't want to call it a 3D effect, but get that effect where it's subject separation, right? My highlights are way down, so you could bring your highlights back up and show the harshness of the sun, the light. So now we got that shadow too underneath her. It's a little bit more pronounced. Whereas if I raise and if I lower the highlights, it makes her shadow a little bit better. So I like that. But in general, I'm not trying to raise shadows like I used to back in the day. So let's go through these photos together. And I'm going to start. This is actually the very beginning. That's me getting out of the car. And this is me just getting warmed up. I'm getting warmed up looking at my settings. I'm looking here. Okay, so guys, I shot in manual focus mode, and so that was a big thing from Eduardo Ortiz. And so what he does is he sets these settings, and let me go to the settings on this photo here. So you could see in this photo, I'm at 3/20th of a second, f16, 800 ISO. And what's the benefit, or what's the reason, or what can I expect, or what is it that I'm liking out of this? So I'm liking the fact that more things in my photo are in focus. I'm no longer chasing bokeh like I did when I was, just learning about photography. I'm no longer in f2, f1.8, f1.4. That's why I'm more than happy with this RX1R III being f2. I don't need f1.2. I don't need 1.8. More things are in focus when you're at an f-stop of f16, f11, f13, whatever the case is. And if you're at 500 ISO and if I'm at 500, if you're at 500th of a second shutter speed, or in this case 3/20th of a second shutter speed, you're freezing the motion and you're getting a clear picture. I don't need image stabilization. I don't need IBIS, in-body image stabilization. The number one thing that all the YouTubers go on and complain about or scream about or cry about. You don't need that. Just like you don't need it on a Leica, you don't need it on this camera. Why? Because of this right here. I'm moving, I'm walking, and I'm going to make the video of me doing this street photography is going to come out probably tomorrow. I'll edit and post it. But the point, guys, is that you don't need in-body image stabilization. You just don't need it because if you have the right settings in place, you're freezing motion already. So it's not that big of a deal. So if you're looking at this, look at this. She is completely, well, not completely. I would say it could be a little bit more frozen. Or maybe my focus is just off. Maybe it's too close. So what Eduardo Ortiz does, he does these settings that I just mentioned to you. So you're seeing it on your screen, 3/20th of a second, 500th of a second. So you're freezing, motion. 800 ISO, maybe less, maybe more. F16, F13. And you set your focus, you put it in manual focus, and you set your focus to about 2 to 3 meters. And it'll give you a large range of your depth of field. A big part of your photo is in focus, and so you don't even have to think. You literally don't have to think about movement, and you don't have to think about focus. You literally are just running around going bam, 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 just snapping. So what happens? It frees you up. It lets you start thinking of composition, framing, colors, subject separation. It lets you start thinking about, I was thinking about like what types of things I prefer, what I like. Again, I'm not here trying to do something where people are going to be buying my prints. I'm not selling prints. I'm not that guy. I'm not doing this to go into a photography show and win best of show, or I don't know whatever they do in these things, I'm not that guy. I'm not trying to do that. I'm enjoying the process, and I want it to where when I go back and look at my photos, it reminds me of the days that I was there, when I went walking, people I talked to, that moment in time in my life. And if I enjoy the photos a little bit, that's a big plus. And that's all I care. I'm not losing my mind over this. Doing what Eduardo does was huge for me, for my approach to photography. So I'm going to start looking at some more photos. My flash is on so you can see her face is lit up, even though the background is kind of shady. So let's keep going through. So I haven't done anything to this photo. Did I do auto? No. Here's auto on this photo, just so you guys can see what that looks like. There's off, there's on, off, on. Kind of looks nice with auto on. Now we're getting into some stuff. So now I'm looking at photos, and I'm considering things I don't usually consider because of Eduardo Ortiz. I'm looking at colors. Um, Specifically, what colors do I like? Because I hear people talk about colors and matching colors. Oh, look, this guy's wearing blue and it matches that other thing in the frame that's blue. But for example, in this frame, um, in this frame, um, I like orange. I like yellows. I like orange with blues. They're nice. In this frame, I got some of this rusty colored framing, along with the bright orange in the foreground. And you got the kind of rusty orange colored umbrellas. And, her brown shoes, you know, and then the blue pants pop. I like blue. Blue, I think, goes along with this. So I'm thinking of things I like now, as opposed to thinking of settings on my camera, focus, and all that kind of stuff. I'm thinking of things I like. And in this video that I'm going to post, you're going to see me talking about that a lot because there's a couple things in there that I quite a few things I point out. There's a certain window that I end up liking a lot, and I show you guys some reflections off of it and how it will make for a really good photo, um, which I will go back to. So you can see without her in there, it's not that great. With her in there, with the orange, with that kind of blouse or whatever that is, it makes the picture. And so let's keep going. Here's a gentleman I took a photo of. Again, just me getting warmed up, and I just thought, he had a cool character. The glasses kind of did a little something with it, and so here's auto. And when I hit auto, it just kind of does too much. So what I'll do is turn it off. I'm going to raise the shadows a hair, just a hair. Lower highlights. You see his shirt kind of coming through a little more now. Bring the exposure up just a tiny bit there. There's a lot more that I can do with it, but I'm not trying to show you guys editing 101 or editing classes or anything like that or anything. And again, I'm no pro. I just come in here like you guys, and I play with these knobs, and I find things. Look at that. I like that contrast a little more. I find things I like, and I just play with it. Sometimes you play with these colors and get a little more green or blue. So there's a lot of fun to be had. Play with the stuff. Let's keep going because there's photos here that didn't turn out well. You know what I mean? So we'll check that out. All right, so here's one that came out super dark, and here's one that I like. These kind of photos I like a lot. I don't know if photographers consider this anything, but I just like it. So let's see if there's anything here. This could have been a cool photo, but let's raise these shadows. And I think it's just this photo. Is this photo just done? Let's hit auto and see what auto doesn't even help this thing. So even if we got to raise this a lot to kind of get in there. Okay, so that didn't really work the way I liked. This right here, worked out pretty well. I just hit auto on it so you guys can see this is a nice brick. I like the split corners like that. And you'll see there's a couple shots here where I got the subjects in the photos. I do like to get the base of things in the picture. So a lot of times with trees, you'll see me get in there and I'll have the base but not the top of the tree or something. So a lot of times I personally like the base of things. And it's something that I've known kind of, but I didn't really think about until today because, again, I got the freedom to think about what I want, what I like. So every photo I took of this shows the base. Now this next photo shows a little bit past the top as well, so I was kind of going for that. So this picture here is a little bit closer to that, but as I go down further and I keep taking pictures of this and keep working this area, I end up getting this guy walking. Then I get these two guys coming to get, walking together. It would have been cool if we had one on either side. Um, but we're not here to, I'm not going to sit there for an entire day just to wait for that to happen. And I'm definitely not going to tell these guys what to do. I'm just taking pictures and observing. So I like this. This is pretty cool. I clipped the top corner of it, which is fine. I'm more interested in the bottom. So let's play with this. Let's just hit auto on it just for fun. And then we're going to bring the shadows down. Oh, we're going to bring the shadows down a little bit. So the sky is, we got the sky. Sky came in. Our highlights are not blown out. You can see that, auto lowered the highlights down. So, okay. Okay. So it's looking good. I would probably do a crop here. I would probably do a 9:16. If I'm going to put it on Instagram or something like that. And then I would kind of bring this corner in the middle. Who knows? I might even do a little tilty action and get that lined up centered. And like this. Something like that. I think that's cool. I like that picture right there. That's cool. There's more. So then I get these guys. Right here. And it's funny, they walk by and they're like, "Oh, we're sorry." And I'm like, "No, don't be sorry. You made my photo." And so let's play with it real quick and just do a little tilty straightening. And let's do, I kind of like that. Let's just hit auto on it. Let's bring the shadows down. I'll go back and play with these later, guys. I'm not going to go through every little thing on it. I just want to do quick auto, a little bit of minor adjustment to kind of get a somewhere where I like it. And truth be told, I don't like to do a ton of stuff. So, and the auto doesn't do a ton of stuff. It's not going in there and doing all the color stuff and all that crazy stuff. So this is kind of doing about what I want to it. I'll play with these. Believe me, I'll sit down and take my time and have fun with these and do, do my stuff on it. But for now, I think, and I don't always do 9:16. I'm just kind of doing a little bit of it here because this is a very top rectangular thing, but 9:16 will let me get it to where it's centered and I got my whole photo. So this right here is cool. So that we got this one and we got this one. These are both really, really cool to me. This one with the guys that don't even know each other and don't even look at each other, just walk right past each other. I kind of like this one with the two guys wearing green. Very cool. So we'll keep moving. I think my exposure could be a little bit brighter. I could have done a better job. I probably should have had, let's look at settings. All right, so I'm at 500th of a second, f16, 1000 ISO. Right off the top of my head, I can say straight up that I could have been at a lower f-stop. So probably f13 would have been good, f11, and I could have lowered my ISO. And you guys notice I'm not zooming in to see my oh, let's look at focus. Look how good that focus is, guys. So this is manual focus, guys, straight up manual focus. So, I mean, one of the big pluses people love about this camera is that it's one of the best focusing cameras because of the Sony and because of all that stuff. And even though people will, act like they're engineers and tell you all about the mechanics inside of this lens and how the focus motor is not fast enough to keep up with the chip in the back, they still will tell you they love the focus and it does better than their Leicas and they're better than their whatever other cameras that they own. Okay. And so even though it does so good autofocusing, I just put it on manual and I had probably the most fun I've ever had with a camera. So there you have that, guys. Let's keep going. Actually, let me raise the exposure a touch just to see what that does. I like it. I like that. Anyway, let's go. This is the girl that had a A600 when we were, when I was walking. She noticed me taking pictures, and she stopped me and was asking me about my equipment. And then she pulled out her own camera. And so, did I take a picture of her camera? No, I did not. But she had a A6000 in her bag. Literally, it was a good sized camera in her bag, and with the bag, with the case for it and everything. So that was fun. But guys, look, I was just showing you guys earlier. When you zoom in, these photos are all in focus. The wall is in focus. The things that are close up are in focus. The window and stuff is in focus. And so with these settings that Eduardo Ortiz kind of showed me on his YouTube video, they let me shoot freely and everything's still in focus. This is where I did some manual focus because I put the camera I put the camera in macro mode. I think I did show you guys that. I think I'm tripping, guys. Anyway, I did show you guys that, so I might do some cuts. Anyway, so I did put it in macro mode, and I zoomed in here on this, and I got a lot of this stuff in focus. This is you could see here the sap in the tree. If you look at this one here, same thing. Beautiful macro photography. I love macro photography. One of my favorite things to do. This one, I think I was just testing something out. Here's a dog I got a little picture of with my flash. Good looking little dog. Good little attitude, just chilling right there. It wasn't the greatest photo, but I need to, lower my f-stop, let some more light into the camera, and lower my ISO. That's what I need to do on some of these. What was in focus? Probably right behind the dog. But yeah, you see a lot of when you zoom in close on these one in these settings, you're gonna get some what is it, pixelation or whatever you call it, some grain, which is fine. Did it switch again? Yeah, it did switch again. And these are the macro pictures with this tree sap. Here is the other tree. This is where I'm focused in. This is the macro photography. Very cool. Put the camera in macro mode and got some great pictures. The doggy. This was just some random picture I took checking my settings. This is the doggy. Not very much in focus, in my opinion. Could have been better, but I think it was just a little too close. I have it set to 2 meters, and I think I got closer than that. Here's some guy that's glad to get his picture taken. Let's hit auto on this. Let's see. Let's raise some shadows. Let's raise the exposure. So this is nice. See, the distance is better. The focus is better. It's just a nice picture of this couple walking. Nothing crazy. The composition was nothing special. Unfortunately, we got this ramen building in the back. The sign. There was a photo to be had here with the yellows and stuff like that. And this guy wasn't excited about having his picture taken, I think. Here I was trying to do something where you get some major contrast um, using the shade to silhouette the lower body of the person, and then have that sun really light up the upper body. And I tried to get this picture a couple of times, and I just couldn't do it. I was waiting too long, and it seems like as soon as they would walk, it was like I wasn't at the right place. Soon, the part that keeps their head in the sun, it just goes by way too fast, where I'd have to be there all day. Here's a picture where I wanted to freeze water. I love freezing water. That's another thing that I love doing. And so, you know what? Let me see if I can pull up that picture that I took of me. Let me see here. It's okay. It's going to take too long. I'll pull that up for our next episode. But right here, I wanted to freeze water, and then I wanted to get this in the frame lined up with these guys centered up, and with the palm tree in the center and all that. And I kind of got it there, but for some reason, I guess my hand was off. So I got to go back, I guess. But that's okay, because I like taking pictures. So I enjoyed walking around doing this. So let's see if I can... let's see what I can make out of this, okay? So watch this. So let's just do an auto for fun. So that lights us up a little bit. Let's drop the shadows a hair. A little, because look, this is raising the shadows way up. That doesn't look realistic. Right around here is better. And then let's look at the water real quick. So you can see I froze the water real good. Look at this. That is frozen. What's my setting? 1/1000th of a second, f16, 640 ISO. This is good. I like this setting. Maybe a lower f-stop, but look at that water. It's frozen. Look, you can see every little drop, guys. Look at these. You can see the stuff underneath. Those are the lights, I think. And I froze all this water up top. I love that. Let's look down here. Yeah, it's all hitting the water and bouncing, and there's a good frame in here somewhere. And let's do a little straightening. Let's do just a little bit of straightening there. Something like this. Let's go with 9x16. Let's center everything up. Let's tighten it up a little bit. Let's get our palm tree and our trees in there. Let's get some more of those in there. And one of the trees is out. Can we bring them back? Can we bring them back? Let's see. I think we need to rotate a little bit. Right about there, maybe. That palm tree is not perfectly straight. I think that's a frame, right? Right there. That's pretty cool. I like that. I'm gonna give this 2 stars. This is cool. It's a good 9x16. And do a little Instagram reel with that. But I like how the water's frozen. Let's see how it looks against that palm tree. That's cool. Very cool. I like that. But I like close-up water frozen. Like a drinking fountain macro shot. Very cool. I got some more of this. Did a real good job of freezing the water, but this one didn't come out as clear as I wanted it to be. Was the setting different here? No, same setting. Same setting. And no, that's not good. Okay, here's another macro shot I took. So I stopped and took a macro shot here. This one is a rose, and this one's clean, underexposed. So even though I can bring it back, let's do a little auto on it and I can play around with it and do some things. Let me just reduce the shadow a little bit and bring a little bit of highlight back. It's focused. It's focused, but it's grainy. And it's like that because I'm at 1000 ISO, f16. I should have been f11 or less, f9 maybe. Turn my ISO down. It does look a little dreamy though if you zoom out. So if I go to like, let's say here, it's a nice photo. There's nice colors. Just a nice, beautiful photo that came out of this camera. It's a great, phenomenal camera. Nice lens. That lens is just beautiful. So even though, guys, when I zoom in, you got that grain, right? So at 100%, you really don't see much grain at all. You could see some grain, barely, if you're really looking at it. But if I go to 200%, you're going to start seeing some of that grain, right? I'm not looking at my pictures at 200%. I'm looking at them at like 50 or less, right? Depending on how I crop. This one, I may not even ever look at it like that. So I'm probably here with this at 30%. I don't see any grain, and it's just a beautiful photo. Lovely deep yellow or, whatever that color is coming out of the center of the rose. So anyway, a flash just lights up people's skin and gives you good skin tone. So really enjoying flash, guys, especially if you light this one up and have a little fun with your settings. You can really see her eyes and everything else. A couple of dogs I got in there. These alleyways I love, and these stairs. So I like these stairs on the right. I've taken pictures here before, but this is nice with her dress. Let's do this. And let's get our shadows back. Let's darken it up a little bit because we want that contrast that I was talking about earlier in the video. And let's zoom out and let's frame this a little better. I don't need the whole right side wall. I like that wall, but I don't need the whole thing. But I do like it more than, I don't know. Let me see here. So I'm going to go like this, and we'll do a little bit of this, and we'll do a little bit. Actually, let's do less of that. Yeah, right in there. That's a good frame. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more, something right in here. So with this setting, guys, F11. So finally I went I went down to F11. 800 ISO, 500th of a second. So now you can see she's in focus, and so is a lot of this picture, even though it's F11. F16 would have been better for this to get that kind of long alley in focus. But this is nice. And I like, the colors of her dress with the wall, with that side. It's just nice. Here's another alley that I love taking pictures. I've taken pictures here before. But I like this better. See, this is the same alley. This is F11, 800 ISO. And then I go here, I'm at F16, 400 ISO. I really drop it down. Both things reduce our exposure. A couple stops. So now I like this for a couple of reasons. So one reason is here we're not blown out, to be honest. This is underexposed. This is possibly slightly overexposed. But this right here is just an alley, which is fine. It looks good. And if we look in and we zoom in, it's blurry here, back here, and it's clear right here, right? We're zoomed in, we're focused up front. and we lose focus as we go down. Another thing is if I step back and I make those adjustments, now I have some lines up here leading into the alley. I have this line going in with these dots. And then I have more contrast with the darker shadows. And it just kind of adds a little more to this frame, to this composure. And now more of this is in focus. So because now I'm at f16, I get these windows in focus. The tree back here is not, but not completely, but I could see it better than I could see it here, I think. So you could see the difference there. Now I haven't done anything to this photo. If I do a little auto to it, it just livens it up and gives you some color. That's just auto. It raised my shadows. I'm going to lower them back down a little bit because I like that kind of dark feeling right there. So now the tree's even more in focus. Actually, it's clearer. It's more clear. And we have a good harsh shadow on this right side, and more leading lines, leading line. And it's just all just kind of boom, 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 boom. I like this. This is very cool. And I don't think I would crop this. If I cropped it, I'll probably ruin the photo. But let's play with it for fun anyway. And guys, don't ask me why I do 916. It's probably, I don't know. Let me just do it with 916 and center it. And I think that could be a good, because so sometimes, a lot of times I like to get the places where, walls begin or where the base of things are, as I said earlier. So, but in this case, let me undo it. So you could see here with that little crop, I took away the beginning of the wall, and now we don't have like something stopping. When we look at this, when we have the leading lines, there's no stopping your vision, your flow, your eyes from moving. So now, why is it not doing what I want it to do? So now, let's go back. I got to do this again. So 916 and centered up. So now you can see from here to here, from here, this is where it started. These areas right here, stop your flow a little bit. Not really, because you got leading lines and it's kind of cool. It just depends who's looking at it. But like this, it just woof, right? So this is cool. I like this one. I'm going to give this 2 stars. Let's go. Let's keep going. This is one where I looked at it and I really like this. And I'm going to talk about this and then we'll call it quits, guys, because I don't want to make this take this thing forever. So right here, this is a unique, let me do auto on this and see if it, okay, this is perfect now. So this is an interesting corner for me anyway, where this window and the window behind it, you could, this little U-turn, this little area right here is within the restaurant on this left side. And so you could come and sit inside and have windows on the 3 different walls around you. So you have window on one side, window on this side, window on this side. However, if you're walking on the street and you look through this window, you look right through the restaurant, right over that table, and you can see this car is going to come around this way, and you'll see it pop out here. So you're looking through this window. You're also having this window here where you have this gentleman. He's not in this frame. That's a reflection of him. He's off to this side. He's out here. He's out here walking in. He's actually like right about here. The cool thing about this photo is you could have a guy walking this way, not in frame, and then you can have someone walking this way, from the behind the wall, behind this brick wall. They're walking this way, and when they go right, and as they're walking this way, you'll have them in the frame facing the right side, facing right and walking that way. You'll also have this guy walking with them in front of them, even though he's off the screen walking towards them. So that's a cool, I think, effect that I'm gonna get. I didn't get it this time. There wasn't enough people there that day, and I mean, I didn't want to sit there forever. But that's the effect. Now, there's another way to do this. There's a couple different ways to do this effect. One is to have a subject walking by this way, where I am standing in front of me, go down. But you're going to get a picture of their back reflected. But I like this, where the guy is crossing the street from this side, coming in this way, and you see he's walking this way, and then that person is walking this way, and they're both facing that way. I like that. I'll get that picture one day. And when I do, I'll show you guys. So I wanted to show you guys that one. Is there any other one that I wanted to show you? I liked this one where where it showed you the tree leaning over, and the difference between the two trees, and have this lamp in there, and there was something there, and there was some people walking. I just couldn't get the picture that I wanted, but it's okay. Again, I'm going to go out and take these pictures, and it's not going to work. A lot of times you're going to get pictures that aren't that great, but you learn more about what it is you want, you know? Okay, we're about an hour again, man. I try to keep these things to like 20, 30 minutes, and I just go on, and I love this. So anyway, hopefully you guys like it too. This one right here is again, I like having where the wall or the foundation or something, a tree or something. Oh yeah, look at these trees. So I got the base of these trees, right? The base. I get the bases of all the trees, and the bases of buildings and structures. This right here, you're seeing the structure, which I really like. It's sort of matching with this maroony, reddish, worn out little thing here. I don't like the name of the bank on there. So if I was going to do anything with this, it would obviously, guys, be, you know, me chopping that off and centering us, and then maybe doing it's actually pretty good. Probably do something right in there. And now we got another corner. Now, I'm liking this stuff right here. I haven't done auto on this. There's auto, too bright. I don't like it. I got to play with it myself on my own time. I'm liking this photo, and I like corners, but I do also like where one side has some kind of a shade, a harsh shadow. And I'll show you another picture of that. This is where I got someone that walked by. So the subject drastically improves this picture. I'm going to cut it real quick so we can look at it the way I like it, cropped. So we're going to crop this down. And now and let's do a straighten. Now, and let's make it bigger. Let's make it a little bit bigger here. Okay. Okay, so now we got her walking by with some big, huge thing in her pants right there, which I don't know what that is. She's got a baguette in her hand, and her red sort of goes with the bricks and the maroonish kind of color down here. But I think the subject makes the photo. She really helps that picture a lot. She's crossing the corner. You know, she's going over my corner. So she's got the she's got the sorry guys. She's got the baguette in her hand. She's on a mission. She's got her Eddie Bauer. I've never seen Eddie Bauer. Been a while since I've seen Eddie Bauer. Got something in her pants right there. And she's on a mission. She's going, guys. She's moving. Here's an example of a corner with a harsh shade on it. We'll do a little auto. It's going to be too much. Bring the shadows down. Yeah. Now we got blue and orange. I like blue and orange. They go along. They go together pretty well. Let's see if we can help the framing a little bit with 9x16 just to kind of make it a little more narrow. And then let's go ahead and bring it in and do a baby little tiny straighten. And it's not bad. This is cool. It's not the exact kind of thing that I want, but it's not bad. Look at these, way underexposed, way underexposed. Here again, I try to get that thing where, you know, half of the body's in the sun, half of it's in the shade, more underexposure. This guy was hanging out, having a coffee and talking loud on his phone, and was just enjoying himself. And it was cool. It was a good guy. What's a better? Yeah, this one here, where I went down and got a lower picture. That's the one. He looks over. What's up, buddy? And then this is where I had myself a coffee. Finally sat down and took a break and had a coffee and did the whole thing. Look at the focus on it. Again, when I zoom into this percentage, you got grain. Overexposed right here. We could bring that down a little bit. So you can see that exposure is kind of going down. It's telling me we're blowing out there. But this is the picture. This was my gear that you can't even, it's not even in focus. I was too close. But this is the gear I was using to record. I'm going to make that video soon. That's a Sony FX3. Not sure why this guy's walking like that, but he did it anyway. He was doing his thing. And I got him crossing this corner. So we got people crossing my corners. We got gumball machines matching the doors, and we're having a little fun. You could see here what I was talking about. So before, in the previous version of this picture, this corner, I came back to this corner. I'm done. This is the last couple pictures. You saw there was a guy crossing this way. Let me lower the exposure a little bit. Or actually, let me just hit auto on this so you can see this person more clearly. We had someone walking this way, and their reflection was here facing that way. Now we have the person coming from behind that wall, walking this way, naturally walking this way, and they are facing that way. So all we needed was that guy here, where I can probably do that. I can probably do like stitch these, you know, put these kind of together like that, and have the guy there, and which he's not really there, but he's there because of the reflection, and have this person there. And look at the, you know, we're in focus and we're doing good. Got a photo of my car, and there we go. Now it's in focus. And if you guys don't know, if you look behind me, I like Porsche, guys. I like Porsche. Let me get you guys a better f-stop there. Yeah, so you can see that we're F22. So you could see I'm a Porsche fan. This is a car that I set up for the track. Performs really well on the track. Major downforce in the back. Canards, everything's built, purpose built, not for looks, but it looks cool. Anyways, guys, thank you again. And thanks for joining me. If anyone hates on this camera, show them this video, and remember this video, and remember these cameras, because they also don't have IBIS.